Welcome to Talking Tales. Learn English. Today, we have a story that will inspire you to believe in your dreams and never give up. It's about a man who changed the world with his vision, his determination, and his incredible ability to see the future before anyone else. This man is none other than Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Inc., and a visionary who helped create some of the most revolutionary products in the tech world. From a school dropout to a tech king, Steve Jobs' journey is one of resilience, creativity, and, above all, passion. His story is proof that no matter where you come from or what obstacles you face, anything is possible if you believe in yourself and keep pushing forward. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955, in San Francisco, California. His biological parents, Joanne Schiebel and Abdul Fattah Jandali, gave him up for adoption shortly after his birth. He was adopted by Clara and Paul Jobs, who raised him in Cupertino, California. As a child, Steve had a curious mind and an interest in electronics. He would spend hours tinkering with gadgets and machines, trying to figure out how they worked. However, he didn't excel in school. In fact, he wasn't particularly interested in formal education. He was bright, but he didn't care much for following the rules and structure of traditional schooling. This made him a bit of a rebel in his early years. In high school, Steve Jobs was known for his unconventional ways. He often skipped classes and preferred to learn by exploring the world around him. His natural curiosity and desire to break away from the traditional educational system set him apart from his peers. In fact, Steve Jobs later admitted that his love for learning came from the freedom of not being bound by the constraints of a traditional classroom. But despite his rebellious attitude toward school, he was brilliant, especially when it came to electronics and technology. At the age of 17, Steve Jobs made a bold decision that would change the course of his life. He dropped out of Reed College in Portland, Oregon, after just one semester. It was a shocking move, especially given his parents' hopes that he would complete his education and get a traditional job. But Steve had different plans. He knew that the real world offered more opportunities than any classroom ever could. He realized that the traditional path wasn't for him, and he wanted to pursue his passions on his terms. After dropping out of college, Steve Jobs returned to California and started working at Atari, a popular gaming company at the time. It was there that he met his future business partner, Steve Wozniak, who shared his love for technology. Together, they formed a company in 1976, which they named Apple Computer. It all started with a simple idea: to create personal computers that anyone could use. At that time, computers were huge, complicated machines that only experts could operate. But Jobs and Wozniak saw the potential of personal computers and believed that they could make them accessible to everyone. In 1977, Apple introduced its first major product, the Apple II. The computer was a huge success, and it helped put Apple on the map as a leading tech company. However, despite the success of the Apple II, Steve Jobs knew that the future of computing was in making machines that were not only functional but also beautiful. He was obsessed with design and believed that technology should not only work well, but also look amazing. His obsession with design and user experience became one of the defining features of Apple products. In the early 1980s, Steve Jobs and his team introduced the Macintosh, a computer that was smaller, more affordable, and user-friendly. It was a bold move, but the market wasn't ready for such a radical change. The Macintosh was ahead of its time, and it struggled to gain traction. However, Jobs didn't give up. He believed in his vision and continued to push for innovation. Unfortunately, the tensions within Apple began to rise. Jobs' strong personality and his management style, which was demanding and sometimes difficult, created conflicts with the company's board of directors. In 1985, Steve Jobs was forced out of the company he had founded. At first, it was a devastating blow. Jobs felt betrayed and disheartened by the people he trusted. But instead of wallowing in despair, he took this as an opportunity to reinvent himself. He founded a new company called Next, which focused on creating high-end computers for the education and business markets. While Next wasn't a commercial success, it helped Jobs refine his vision for the future of computing. More importantly, it allowed him to learn valuable lessons about leadership, innovation, and perseverance. In 1986, Jobs made another important move. He bought a small animation studio called Pixar. At the time, Pixar was struggling to survive, but Jobs saw something in it that others didn't. He believed that animation could be transformed by technology, and he was determined to make Pixar the leader in computer animation. Under his leadership, Pixar produced the world's first fully computer-animated feature film, Toy Story, which became a massive success. Pixar went on to create several more hit films, including Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Monsters, Inc. In 2006, Disney bought Pixar for $7.4 billion, and Jobs became the largest shareholder in Disney. While Jobs was busy with Next and Pixar, Apple was struggling. The company had lost its way without Jobs' leadership, and it was on the brink of bankruptcy. In 1997, Apple's board of directors made the bold decision to bring Jobs back to the company. Jobs returned to Apple with a new vision for the company's future. He immediately set to work simplifying the product line and focusing on creating products that were both beautiful and functional. The first major product to emerge from this new vision was the iMac, a colorful and stylish computer that stood out in a sea of beige boxes. The iMac was a huge success, and it helped Apple regain its footing in the tech industry. But Steve Jobs didn't stop there. In 2001, he introduced the iPod, a portable music player that revolutionized the way people listened to music. The iPod was sleek, user-friendly, and, most importantly, it allowed people to carry thousands of songs in their pockets. The iPod was a game-changer for Apple and the music industry. It was followed by the iTunes Store, which allowed users to buy and download music directly to their devices. In 2007, Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone, a product that would change the world forever. The iPhone was the first smartphone to combine a phone, a music player, and an internet device into one sleek, easy-to-use product. It revolutionized the way people communicated, worked, and entertained themselves. The iPhone became one of the most successful products in history, and Apple became one of the most valuable companies in the world. Steve Jobs' success story was not just about his innovative products. It was also about his ability to inspire and lead. He was known for his perfectionism and his ability to push his team to create products that were nothing short of extraordinary. He was passionate about design, user experience, and making technology accessible to everyone. He believed that technology could make the world a better place, and he dedicated his life to making that vision a reality. Throughout his life, Steve Jobs taught us many valuable lessons. He taught us the importance of following our passion, embracing failure, thinking differently, and believing in ourselves. He showed us that failure is not the end, but an opportunity to learn and grow. He taught us that success doesn't come easily, but with hard work and perseverance, anything is possible. And most importantly, he taught us that we should never settle for mediocrity. We should always strive for excellence, no matter the obstacles. Steve Jobs passed away on October 5, 2011, after a battle with cancer. His legacy lives on through the products he created, the company he built, and the lives he touched. He will always be remembered as one of the greatest innovators of our time. So, what can we learn from Steve Jobs' life? First, we can learn that success doesn't come overnight. It takes hard work, dedication, and a willingness to take risks. We can also learn that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and ultimately achieve success. And, perhaps most importantly, we can learn to follow our passion, think outside the box, and never give up on our dreams. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey through the life of Steve Jobs. We hope you found it motivating and learned some valuable lessons along the way. If you enjoyed today's story, please leave a comment below and let us know what you learned. Share one unique word you learned today and tell us which story you like to hear next. New words with meanings, tinkering, verb, to make small changes or adjustments to something, especially in order to improve it. Perseverance, noun, the quality of continuing to try to achieve a particular aim despite difficulties. Revolutionized, verb, to completely change something in a way that it becomes much better or more effective. Visionary, noun, a person who has clear and imaginative ideas about what the future should be like. Resilience, noun, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness. Obstacles, noun, things that block or hinder progress or movement. Sleek, adjective, smooth and glossy, often in an elegant way,